60-year-old billionaire was asked how he became one. He said, "Rule number one, if you don't come from a rich family must come from you. Rule number two, forget about the girls and focus on one woman. She'll help you achieve everything."
You need to learn how to flip the script and make everything that man's fault. Even, it don't matter what you do, you need to be able to flip it back on him. Whatever it is, I promise you it can be turned into his fault. He needs to think that everything that's wrong is because of him. And I'm telling you, it's going to get you everything you want every time. It never fails. This is a skill that you need to master.
Fuck me, no.
Cancel that. I'll buy it.
Unintentionally. I was unintentionally manipulating my therapist.
This is one of the main reasons why I didn't want to become a therapist when I was in school. Because I work with women, and mostly women of color. Most of my clients are very good at masking. Add on top of that, those are who are used to code switching, which is another type of masking, basically. It's going to be so much harder for me to help them as a therapist than as a counselor when I do my private practice. I was in and out of therapy for 10 years, and I cannot tell you how many therapists I've had who asked me the most ridiculous questions like, "Oh, how did you come to that conclusion?" And would be literally like taking notes as though they were like learning for their other clients. In fact, I had a therapist straight up tell me like, "Oh, I have another client dealing with something similar, like, how did you do that?" Also, a number of times I was purposely and accidentally manipulative and would like just talk the talks. I know what to say to them in order for them to think certain things because they have a rule book they have to follow and like procedures that go along with certain things. I knew exactly what not to say and what to say to be strategic. So I feel like a lot of women, especially women of color, really do need sometimes a different type of support that involves being a little bit more direct and creating space where the expectation isn't for them to perform in a certain way. And I think a lot of that has to do with transparency and having it be a two-way street where we're both communicating about things and it's not just them sharing things and like me being over here like I'm perfect, you know, counselor like or therapist, whatever. Like I'm not just listening to their problems, we're having active communication and we're both actively listening.
So this is crazy. Ladies, that's what y'all out here doing? Y'all out here manipulating y'all therapists? I'm not surprised. I mean, women are known to gaslight. Women are known to do things to, you know, make things work in their edge, which is the main reason why you don't see a lot of men going to therapy. We'll go to therapy on our own, but usually when our wives or our girlfriends are like, "Hey, can you go to a therapist with me?" We're just a little bit more reluctant. And the reason why is because we have that fear that we're gonna go in there and then the script will be flipped to say, "Hey, you're the bad guy." For the most part, you'll end up seeing a woman cry. You'll end up seeing a woman just do things to get that sympathy out of people. When a woman sees another woman cry, it's a problem. When men see women cry, we tend to want to, you know, protect them. A male therapist would do the same thing. So this is why we're a little bit more reluctant and we try to figure out issues ourselves. In a lot of ways, therapy is a good thing. In a lot of ways, couples therapy can be a good thing. But when the manipulation games start, it's time to get up out of there. Just saying, ladies, think about it. On to the next video.
Something is wrong here.
Statistically, the guy is more narcissistic than the woman. Well, those statistics are worldwide.
I have been saying this shit for a fucking year, and every time I do, people drag me, especially women, put me to the cross for my observation. Before I go on my rant, let's talk about the Stitch that we just watched. So what he's saying is that historically, there has been more male diagnosed narcissists than women, which is 100% true. Which in my personal opinion, all I think that means is that just more men went and actually got help. Doesn't actually mean there are more male narcissists. But it's been the facts, but those statistics are worldwide. And there's been new studies coming out that, you know, close the circle to just Western culture or just America. And it's coming out that about 50% of the American female population is showing signs of MPD or BPD. I even just made a video about this yesterday where I explained that just through my observation and my experience from myself, especially, and the men around me, that women, I've just noticed, more women are becoming like obsessed with power and control over people. Not all women, I didn't say that. And of course there's a bunch of people saying, well, it's not all women. Well, no shit. But I've just noticed it's becoming more common, especially with the rise of social media, that women are obsessed with control and like, it's just like promoting a toxic culture. And now look at, you know, everyone gets mad at me, the guy who's just giving my observation of what's actually happening. And also, if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. Like all these women that get mad that I say that, like if I'm not talking about you, why are you so upset? I'm just telling you my personal experience from what I've seen. But the shoe probably fits, which is why they get mad. And we're talking about narcissists who can't take accountability. So when they hear something that offends them, of course, they're going to attack me. But anyways, the facts come out. American culture, it's showing that upwards of 50 or more % of women are showing signs of BPD and NPD. In my opinion, the reason for that is probably because we're all a spoiled culture. And then you mix that, like with the video I was talking about yesterday, you get spoiled, you get narcissists, and then narcissists go and hurt people. And now that creates fear in people. And now, you know, people will traumatize people out of fear because they're trying to protect yourself, but they're actually just going and hurting someone. And then it just ends up this vicious cycle of people just screwing everyone over and then trying to hurt you first, so because you're scared that you're going to get screwed over, and it creates this toxic culture. And look what it ends up with. 50% of women are showing signs of narcissism and borderline personality disorder. And it's so extreme to the point that they don't even know if it's something new or if it's NPD and BPD. They don't know if this is like a whole new disease, personality disorder, or if it's the common ones, narcissism and borderline. I told you. I told everyone. I've been saying this for a long time. I'm not saying it's everyone. If I'm not talking about you, don't get upset. But it's just obvious. What I've noticed from TikTok is people don't sit back and just observe. Observe what's happening around you, and you might start to see what's going on.
So my thoughts on this is, I mean, it's kind of crazy because the word narcissist, it gets passed around, and mainly it gets passed around by women. So it's become a buzzword. Anything that, okay, if I treat you wrong, I'm considered a narcissist. I could treat 110 people right, but you're the one person that I might be sick of. I might not want to be next to. I might not even want to hear from you. But because I move funny with you, I'm considered a narcissist. It is a buzzword. A lot of women use it. Some simp-ass men too, they use it as well. But, you know, it is what it is. I think studies show that a very, very minute number, roughly 3% of the whole population, were actually diagnosed with narcissism. But leave it up to most of these, you know, simps and these feminists and all that, everyone's a narcissist. Everyone that hurts your feelings is a narcissist. Kick rocks with that. You know why you want to hear that shit? Keep it pushing. On to the next video.
For these common manipulation tactics women will use on you. The first one is the most dangerous one, which is sex. If you're in a long-term relationship with a woman and she withholds sex from you in order to get you to do something or not do something, it's manipulation, and it might be time to exit the relationship or have a long conversation. The second one, they give you the silent treatment. The best way to handle this is to not buy into it. You need to be direct. You need to say, hey, if you have a problem, let's talk about it. If she refuses to talk about the problem after that, then again, it might be time to exit that relationship. The third one is passive aggressive behavior. They won't say what they're actually thinking. Instead, they'll imply something, usually to make you feel like you did something wrong, but you're not being told what it is. When this happens, the best thing to do is to directly confront that and say, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you say things that way. If you have a problem, let's just talk about it and tell me what's wrong. This one is the least dangerous, but it's probably the most common.
Too many men do that. Too many men are not direct with their demands and what they need. In order to be a CEO, or in order to be a boss or the head of anything, there's no beating around the bush. You have to be direct. You have to tell people your plans, your layout, what you need from them as it is. There's no compromise. There's no ifs, ands about it. Men, to be considered masculine, work on being direct, Work on telling people your mind as you think it. Don't sit there and sit on something and beat around the bush with these people. Because when you do that, you give them an edge over you. Be a leader. It's not about being all this, I'm a boss, I'm a this. Listen, you're a man. Your purpose was set here to be a leader. If you want to have good results with women, you have to lead them. And the way you lead them is by being direct with them. You don't sit there and give them, oh, I'm trying to protect their feelings, or, I don't want to hurt you. You can be direct and not be rude. You can be direct and be stern. That's what's attractive to women.
Game. Blouses.
60-year-old billionaire was asked how he became one. He said, "Rule number 1. If you don't come from a rich family must come from you. Rule number 2. Forget about the girls and focus on one woman. She'll help you achieve everything. Rule number 3. You will never be criticized by someone who is doing more than you. You will only be criticized by someone who is doing less than you. Rule number 4. A winner is just a loser who tried one more time. Rule number 5. People get really mad when you don't let them use you. Rule number 6. Never post your achievements. Post stupid stuff and jokes so they'll think you have no future. People hate progress. Rule number 7. When you become lazy, it's disrespectful to those who believe in you. Rule number 8. 6 months of hard work, consistency, focus, and discipline can change your life forever. If you're not following, you're probably never going to see us again. If you are, then congratulations, you're growing every day.
Fellas, not all of us are going to be on top of our game, and not at every point in our lives, right? You're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have your ebbs and flows. But the thing is, understand that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to come and say, you know what? I see you down on the ground. Let me help you up. You have to figure it out. We have pretty much 2 options. It's either we figure it out or we go to the street and become homeless. So men, take the inspiration of getting up every day and aspire to do something different, something more. Find something, find a niche, find your thing and give it 110%. Don't let no one stop you. Don't let no one get in the way. Build yourself up. Build yourself till you cannot build another brick in your life. Keep going, fellas. Anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned, tap in. I'll see you in the next video.